Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be creating a pattern for bodies for a 2-year-old. So first of all, I will be gathering my measuring tape, a pen, and of course a paper. So to start with, what I'm going to be doing is to gather the measurements, and also a ruler is needed. You can get your drafting pattern and also get your 2-year-old and start measuring. All right, so we're going to get a 2-year-old like I have mine. So we're going to spread our arms up. We take our measuring tape, okay, and we pull it around her like that, like this. You make it comfortable, not too tight, not too loose. You gather the number. For me, it is 23 for a bust length. I grab my paper and pen, and I'm going to write down the number. Bust is 23. And I'm going to go to her waistline. Okay. Then put it around her. Not too big, not too small. I have 22. Don't leave. And that's the thing with children, babies, they want to move around a lot, so we don't want that. I'm going to get my tape, place it on her shoulder to wherever I want the flare to start from. So for me, I'm going to start here because I'll be putting a waistband. So for her, it will be 9. I'm going to write 9 for the bust length. 9, and that is bust length is 9. Okay, turn around, honey. All right, so I'm going to go to her back, move forward a little bit. So I'm going to go to the middle of her back, to the shoulder point, and the number I have is 4.5. So all right, so I'm going to measure the armhole, and that is 5. Okay, for the armhole, which is from the shoulder to where the sleeves is going to go around, is 5. All right, I think that's what we need for now to make the bodies. And so next I'm going to grab my paper. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is folding the paper into 2 like this. Okay, that way I have the size that I need. So even if it's a fabric that you're working with, you always want to fold it into 2. That way it'll be easy to cut your pattern out of. Okay, so this is my measurement for the buddies. So I'm going to start transferring the numbers onto this paper. Oh, perfect. All right, so the first I'm going to start from the shoulder and find number 9. So unfortunately, because I have this folded and I need more room or more space, I'm going to spread this out. But for your pattern, make sure that your pattern isn't folded or your fabric. So I'm going to find 9 and make a marking right here. Now, because of sewing allowance, I'm going to add 0.5 after the mark, so that will be 9.5, and right here will be my sewing allowance. I'm going to name it SA. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the top and measure the neck, which I am using 3. Okay, so I'm going to place 3 right there and place another mark. I'm going to make another mark right there at 3. Then take my or you can use a ruler if you have one. I'm going to come down and also make a mark at 3 right here. And this part will be the round neck of the front neck, okay? So what you want to do is to connect your ruler, your marking, together like so. Take your ruler and connect the points. All right, so I'm going to measure first with the neck. I'm going to take it from the top put a mark at 3 since the neck is 3. So I'm going to place a mark right here. Then also the neck in is also 3 as well. So I'm going to place another marking right here. So what I'm going to do for this connection, just so I can know that this is the neck area, I'm going to draw a line down and connect my lines so that way I'm not missing any numbers, anything. Okay, so I know this is the neck. I'm going to write it down as neck. Okay, so next up, I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to find 9 on the measuring tape. Again, I'm going to place a marking right here, and I'm going to add another 0.5 under the 9. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can get yourself a ruler. That will make it a lot easier for you to draw out. Okay, so I'm going to draw out the 9, and I'm going to draw out, make a line on the 9.5 as well. So with the 9.5 here, this little spacing is for the sewing allowance, meaning that I don't want it to be too small or too big, so I have room for error or for sewing anything I want to sew. So next up, I am going to go, excuse me, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to go to the tip of top again, and I'm going to measure 2.5, which is the shoulder length for the armhole. So I'm going to place a marking for 2.5 right here, and I'm going to go down 4.5 for the armhole. That is the marking that I was able to obtain from the measurement that I took earlier. So I'm going to draw a line, go back to the top, draw another line from the tippy top, okay? Connect together. I'm going to write here, hole, okay? Just so I know what that is. So next up, what I'm going to do here, because I do not want it to be a sharp length, because the body is not a straight line, I am going to make a little curve right here. If you have a curved ruler, this is the best time to use it when you have this type of handles. So I want to create a curve marking right here. What you can also do is you can measure 0.5. You can go in like that and go to the middle. Since we have 4.5, you want to go to maybe 3. And you just want to draw your line starting from the number 3 and just connect it down to the 0.5 like that. I hope I'm not confusing you. So with that, it's a curve area, okay? And the same thing applies for the neck. So we don't want it to be, except if you're making a dress that you want it to be a square shaped, you can leave it as is like this. Or if you want it to be curved, in this case, I want it to be curved. So I'm just going to make a little curve right here. So lastly, I am going to measure the chest line, which is 23. And 23 divided by 2, that is, what is that? 11.5. So I'm going to mark 11.5 divided again by 2. That is, what is that? 9? 11.5, that's 5 point. Let's just go with, you know what? I'm going to go with 12. Okay, because of the sewing allowance. So I'm going to make a mark for 12, which is 6. If we divide 12 by 4, since we're working with 24 now, so that will be 6 in front, including the sewing allowance, and 6 on the side, 6 on the 12 on the back as well. So if you want to go a little extra by adding a little bit more room for error or mistakes or whatever you would like to do, you can add an extra 1 inch, which is what I just did here by adding 1 inch right here. You want to draw your line again to the waistline. So because children are different, their body is different from adult body, I'm not going to draw or make any type of shape markings for the waistline, because they don't have the type of body that an adult have. You're showing me. For the top part, I am going to make a mark for 0.5 on the shoulder, because again, keep in mind, we don't want it to be a straight shoulder line. So 0.5 right here. So on the shoulder top right here, which is the neck area, I'm going to draw a line, which this line, you don't want it to be a square, you don't want it to be a square line, you want it to be slightly slanted, because the body is all curved and, you know, bent. The shoulder is not really a straight shoulder, it's kind of like a slope line. So I'm going to draw a slopey line right here at the shoulder part of things. So pretty much there we have it. I took 23 inches measurement for the chest and 22 measurement for the waistline, but because my waistline for the shoulder, all right, so for the shoulder, to get us the slanted shape right here at the shoulder line, what you want to do is you go to the 2.5 marking right here, then you measure 0.5 down. Okay, so once you have that measured, what you want to do next is to make a line from this point to that point, because you want the shoulder to be slanted, slightly slanted, not too much, but just you don't want it to be a straight line, because then the fabric is not going to lay down perfectly like it's supposed to. So once you have that, you draw a line connecting the shoulder point to the shoulder marker right here, slanting it down. Okay, so next up, since I'm done with the measurement for the bodice here, I am going to cut out the neck area and the armhole so I can just be left with the pattern. Okay, and like I mentioned, I'm not going to make any markings for the waistline, because our little kitties don't have the bodies that we adults have, so there's no need to make any type of markings on the waist area. Okay, all right, so this is what I have after I've cut out the armhole area and the neck area.